I, Sean Sawyer,
I, Edgar Malero, do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the
the
Constitution
Constitution
of
of
the
the United
United States
States
against
against all
all
enemies,
enemies,
foreign
foreign
and
and domestic,
domestic, that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same, and I
and
will
that I
obey
will
the
the
orders
orders
of
of
the
the
President
President
of
of
the
the United
United
States
States
and
and
the
the
orders of the
orders of the
officers
officers
appointed over
appointed.
me.
My grandfather was a service member in the Army Air Corps, and he served in Europe doing bombing campaigns around the Czech Republic, Germany, and he was shot down and was a POW for 9 months. He was liberated by the Russians and then returned home. My father served in Vietnam. He was in the Marine Corps from 1963 to 1975. He went on 5 deployments, saw combat, and he was in the infantry. And he got out in 1975, and then when it came to be my time, I decided to enlist in 2009. I felt like my job was to go into the infantry, to be in direct contact with the people that I would be helping and fighting. And I always had this thought that being on the front line was where I belonged. That's where I should be. July the 6th, 2009, I arrived at Marine Corps Recruit Training Depot in San Diego, and I was there until the beginning of October when I graduated. Returned to Camp Pendleton at the School of Infantry West, and I was attending the Infantry Training Battalion. I graduated in December of that year, and then I was transferred to the Advanced Infantry Training Battalion for the Basic Reconnaissance course. And about a month and a half in, I got injured. We had a hill in the back that we would run up and down, and we would carry logs, like little one man logs, or we'd have team logs that we'd carry. And I lost my footing, and I ended up taking the full weight of the log coming down on me when I had got my footing back, and it compressed my spine. And after that happened, I couldn't walk for about 2 days. And then it was a bunch of physical therapy and seeing if they could salvage me, and it didn't work out.
So I saw some officers, some army officers at the hotel last weekend. They were butter bars. So I go up to them. I'm like, did you just get like, hey, did you guys just get commissioned? Because they were butter bars. You know, it's like, oh no, we've been in for a while. We're in the National Guard. And I'm like, oh okay. It's like,
It's even worse.
yeah, like, bro, they had just their fucking 2-3 ribbons. That's it. And I'm like, damn. So I got this. I like the mini CIB.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, and my boy yesterday was like, oh, like you guys are what? So you like, yeah, so I can just fucking talk shit to him. Like when I see them, I'm like, man, you ain't like, man, you get
That's
the fuck out of here.
So growing up, I was a straight A student, but when I got to high school, I was actually not the best student as I guess as a person. Started hanging around with the wrong crowd, and so I got myself in a lot of trouble throughout high school.
¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué, güey?
Like the military was not even an idea. If anything, I remember saying like I'd never join the military. So during my first deployment, I was involved in 2 IED blasts. To me, I joke about it because there's no other way to go about it. We were about to roll out on my first mission. I've never stepped outside the wire, and I guess it's one of those things in life that they say you have that, I guess, a premonition that something's gonna happen. The meeting ends and we go and we get back in our vehicle and we start to leave the village. And as we're leaving the village, they're like we're leaving, and they had one of the specialists, and then there was a private first class that was in the turret, and they were eating M&Ms, and they're like, "Hey, Malero, do you want some M&Ms?" And I'm like, "Sure." So they give me a bag of M&Ms, and we're in this vehicle, and I'm eating these M&Ms. And I get in the back of my head, I get this like, you know what? Eating these M&Ms as we're driving is probably not a good idea, because if I get blown up, if I don't die of the explosion, I'm gonna die of choking on one of these M&Ms. So like the moment I put the bag down and I stopped and that thought went to my head. It was the moment we blew up. Mm, I'd say the most difficult thing about it would, to me, is
Finding purpose. Finding what I'm supposed to do is probably the most difficult thing for me. I don't want to be, oh, woe is me or anything, but it's difficult trying to find that purpose. Like, originally my purpose was to support and defend the country, and I'm proud of that. And trying to figure out what I'm doing with myself after the fact, I have so many options, and it's hard to kind of find something. And lately I've been starting to think maybe helping other veterans would be the best thing, or helping other people who have been through some similar things that I've been through might be the way. And I'm slowly starting to get a better picture, but it's still a little bit of an uphill battle.
having to move back home in order for the time being. You get used to being so independent when you're in the military. That in order for me to get the goals, accomplish the goals that I have for myself, I needed to go back to needing help. And needing help is something that most people don't want to have to do. They don't want to have to ask for help. But I knew that I needed it. I knew that if I wanted to reach the goals of graduating from college and getting a bachelor's degree, I was gonna have to make that sacrifice. But it was only gonna be temporary. Uh, and part of that puts pressure on me to make sure that I succeed. Puts pressure on me that I'm on top of my game. That I'm doing this as fast and as efficient as I can do it. So that I can go back, to where I can say I'm back on my feet. I'm back on my own. And you know that's been probably the most difficult part for me to of my transition when it comes to that.
Okay, last question. What is one thing you would like to say to anybody watching this video?
Well, what I'd like to say, being a veteran, is definitely something special, but it's not what defines us. Our military service and the fact that we serve does not define who we are. We are all very different, unique people, and veterans share an experience, but ask anyone and I can guarantee you they'll have a different story. So I guess, if you see someone as a veteran or you see them wearing something, don't just think that, they're a veteran and let a stereotype define who they are. Learn who they are, what they've done, where they've been, and build a picture of the things they've done, not the titles they carry. And, I don't know, give us a chance, get to know us.